Regression. That word alone is enough to stress new parents out. W- Because when someone says sleep regression, what it sounds like is your baby is going backwards, or you lost progress, or whatever you were doing stopped working. But that's not actually what regression is. So let's clear this up. Regression is not your baby forgetting how to sleep. It's it's not your baby becoming worse, and it's definitely not you failing as a parent. Regression is a temporary disruption caused by development. Keyword is temporary. Your baby's brain and nervous system grow in stages. It's not smooth. So when a new skill is loading, like rolling or babbling or recognizing faces or processing more stimulation, something else often gets messy. And the thing that usually takes the hit first, sleep, unfortunately, right? So regression is really your baby's system saying, yo, something new is coming online and I need more support while I adjust. Okay. And once you understand that, everything changes. But there are a few mistakes that parents make during these phases that make regression feel way harder than it has to be. I made them, most parents do. So let's talk about the three mistakes new parents make during regression and what actually helps instead, right? Um, Mistake number one, thinking regression means something is wrong. This is the biggest one. Your baby starts waking more at night. They they cry faster. They fight naps. They suddenly need more help falling asleep. And the first reaction is panic. What changed? What did we break? Why isn't this working anymore? What happened? But what's really happening is growth. Okay. Babies don't grow in straight lines, they grow in bursts. Okay. Their brains are learning to process more information day to day. Their nervous systems are organizing, their sleep cycles are maturing, their their awareness of the world is expanding. Okay. And that expansion is exhausting. Right? So instead of sleeping deeply, they wake more. Instead of self-settling, they seek connection. Instead of independence, they cling a little bit more. That's not regression, that's development showing up loudly. Okay. Think of it like a software update. The system gets glitchy before it runs smoother. The mistake is assuming something is broken and trying to fix what isn't, right? Which leads directly to mistake number two, which is changing everything all at once, right? This one feels productive, but it usually backfires. All right. Sleep gets rough. So parents start changing bedtimes, nap schedules, feeding routines, sleep locations, how they respond to crying, swaddles, sound machines, lights, all at the same time. Now your baby isn't just dealing with developmental change, they're also dealing with instability. All right. Babies rely on patterns because patterns calm the nervous system. So when everything changes suddenly, there's nothing familiar to settle into. So instead of soothing, crying increases, waking increases, resistance increases. And parents say, see, it's getting worse. But often it's worse because the foundation keeps moving. Okay? During regression phases, consistency matters more than optimization. This is not the time to overhaul. It's time to anchor. Okay. Keep the routine boring. Keep the responses predictable. Keep the environment the same. Consistency doesn't stop regression. Okay. But it does shorten it, which brings us to the hardest mistake emotionally. Mistake number three, withholding comfort out of fear of creating bad habits. All right. Now, this one messes with parents' heads. Baby wakes more. needs more holding, cries harder, settles a little bit slower. And parents start thinking, if I help too much, I'll ruin their sleep. They need to learn independence. I don't want to create habits that I regret. I don't want to spoil a child. But here's the truth. During regression, babies temporarily lose skills they already had. Okay? Not because they're spoiled, not because you held them too much, but because their brain is reorganizing. All right? And when that happens, they need less support, right? Well, they don't need less support, they need more. Comfort during regression doesn't create dependency, it restores safety. And safety is what allows the nervous system to settle again. When parents pull back emotionally during these phases, babies don't suddenly learn independence out of nowhere. They escalate because now they're overwhelmed and unsupported, right? And that's when nights stretch longer. That's when cries get louder. That's when parents feel defeated. All right. And here's the part nobody explains clearly: you don't teach independence during regression, you protect regulation. You co regulate until their system catches up. Then, and only then, do skills return and return stronger, might I add. That's why so many parents say, one day it just clicked again. It didn't just click. It just finished developing. All right. So what actually helps during regression? First, change the narrative. All right. Instead of saying we're regressing, say my baby's upgrading, getting better. All right. That shift alone changes how you respond. Second, anchor the basics. Keep the same bedtime window, the same wind down routine, the same sleep environment, the same feeding rhythm, right? Even if sleep is messy, the structure underneath stays stable. All right. And increase connection, not control. More holding, more soothing, more calm presence. All right. Not forever, just for this season. Number four, lower expectations temporarily. This is huge. Regression phases are not the time to push independence or to cut feeds or to start new sleep goals or to expect a lot of progress. This is the time to stabilize and survive. And I want to say this clearly, especially the parents who feel like they're failing. Regression is hard because it hits you too. Okay? Sleep deprivation, self doubt, frustration, all real. The quiet fear that you're doing something wrong is real. That doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. And the reason this phase feels so intense is because your baby trusts you enough to fall apart with you. That's not failure, that's attachment. And attachment is what makes long term sleep, confidence, and independence possible. So if you're in the middle of a regression right now, hear this. You didn't lose progress. You didn't ruin your baby. You're not doing it wrong. You're walking them through a growth phase they can't handle alone just yet. All right? If this helped put words to what you're living right now, make sure you subscribe for more. I'm breaking down all this, you know, baby stuff in real time. Not as a perfect parent, but as someone that's in it with you every day. All right? And if you're in the thick of it, this phase will pass. It always does. All right, y'all. Peace.